Hi, this is Divi Prakash from nuclearmedicinesolutions.in. It is going to be almost 1 year from my first presentation which came on YouTube and this day. And whatever I have learned about PowerPoint presentations in this last 1 year, that I'm going to discuss in this video. This will surely help you in making your PowerPoint presentations in a better way, which is more easy to understand by the audience and it is more beautiful to present. So let's begin and see. These are the few slides which I have downloaded from slideshare.com. Generally, our medical presentations look like this. There's a design on the slide background and then the points are simply bulleted with a lot of text. This is another slide where the presenter had shown this image should have been a little bigger so that the audience should be able to understand what is he trying to show. In the next presentation, there are a lot of things on this slide. I'm really confused what is to see and what is not to see on this slide. Just have a look on this slide. Two colors, black and white. Font is white and pink. Audience is not able to view what is written on this slides. This is my slide which was prepared in the first presentation of high dose therapy facilities which was posted on YouTube last year. And I also used to make presentations like this only. But now if I make the same presentation, I'll have a different approach altogether to make. Just reminder, this is the third video of this series, and in the first two videos we have discussed about the access of various journals for free and access of books, how we can get all the medical books and medical journals for free. In the second presentation we discussed about the copyright images and the attribution free images and graphical videos from where we all can get. That we discussed in the second presentation of this series. And in this presentation, we're going to learn about the basic skills of PowerPoint presentations. The first thing which we need to keep it in our mind, that slide size we need to change. By default, the slides of PowerPoint come in the size of standard, which we need to manually change it to the wide screen for 16:9. And this option is available in design tab. And in the design tab, there is an option slide size. Just have a look, and here we have option of widescreen. This we need to make. Then the second thing, we can use convert to smart art. The number of text which we bullet it out, and we can choose different shapes. Like this is the slide. I'll be removing the background of the slide and make it like this. See, there is a lot of space, vacant space, which was wasted, which has no use, that was being occupied by those designs. So let's design this slide. I'll make it to center. This I am again going to make it at the center. Generally, I keep this heading fonts in TW and keep it in the bold, and then the size I used to keep it around 40, and the color I used to keep it as a black. And then these all the points we can use convert to smart art. The whole thing will be selected, and then we need to click it on convert to smart art. There are a number of options are there, and if we hover on to that, it shows how it is going to look. There are different ways it directly converts into that form. See, the same text is being converted into different designs, which we, if we wanted, we can keep it. If it is a process, we can make it as a process. The different designs are coming just by hovering on it. So I'm keeping it as simple and taking the first one. So this is the design comes, and I do not want these all the colors. In my past many presentations I have used this color, and then I have changed the font color to the black, but there are too much of color in this, so now I use this blank color. We need to change the font because the font default font comes as a Calibri. I generally these days use Cambria font. I have changed it to Cambria, then going to justify entire thing and then ungroup this to make the animations to happen. I'm going to ungroup once, and then this action needs to be done twice to bring all the things separately. Now all the sections are separated. We can make this in a black font. For presenting, we need to go to the animations, and I'm going to choose this animation pane. I'm going to make this animation as a wipe. Default it comes from down to up. I used to make it from the left, so it rolls from the left to the right. Double click on animation painter. It continues to do the same animation on those boxes, and if I just click on single click, it remains on one and then it disappears. So we need to select it again. So there are a number of articles to be done on the same animation. Then we need to select it and then double click on animation painter and then on the subject. So I am removing now this by just clicking on the animation painter. Just have a look. Okay. Then number of icons are provided by the PowerPoint, and they are very useful. Go to the insert and then go to icons. Just search medical. The number of icons which you can get it and which can be used instead of images. So I'm just simply clicking it cancel. And the next thing is what all the things we should keep in our mind before preparing any presentation. There are few suggestions which one should keep it in mind before preparing any presentation. And this is the slide which generally it is presented in medical presentations. So I've kept it like this. All the points are there on this slide, and I'm going to make the same presentation, same content, everything is there. Means all the suggestions which are listed here, and all these courses which are available on the coursera.com or udemy.com. So these all the things also I'm going to show how we can present it in a better manner. So let's have a look. The same thing, suggestions for preparation of PowerPoint presentation. We should keep white background. They are easy to buy. Whatever color you wanted to put, you're free to choose. You need not to care about the background. And once the background is white, then we should have a black or blue font color. 6 to 8 words per line we should always try to have. We should avoid too much of material on the slide. We'll have a discussion later on that we should keep on deleting the things on the slides which we have gathered all the times, and each point should be bulleted. Those bullets can be of these numbers also. The number 6 point is avoid use of complete sentences, avoid use of verbs, no spelling mistakes, numbers presented as digits, and abbreviations used appropriately. Regarding the font should be more than or equal to 32 when it comes about the titles, and the font size which is of the subtitle or during the text, it should be less than or equal to 28. And regarding the fonts, we should always avoid the Calibri, Times New Roman, and the Arial fonts. They have been overused in the past. Generally, I use Cambria font, but Georgia, Verdana, Helvetica, Avenir, these all the fonts can also be used. And no more than 2 types of fonts in a one slide. We should always avoid multiple colors in the font. Some people used to do, if they're writing this multiple, all these letters are in a different colors. So that we should avoid. 6 or equal lines per slide. I have tried to keep it less than 6. We should avoid full capitals. I have seen some people write their text in full capitals. That we should avoid, and we should use sentence cases. There are various courses available on internet which teach about how to do PowerPoint presentations. And before presenting this presentation, one course I've gone through from the coursera.com. There are number of courses available from the other websites like FutureLearn, Udemy, NPTEL, EDX, MIT Open. They all offer various courses. There are thousands of courses are there, and they all are free to attend. Only for the certifications, they may charge you. NPTEL just charges 1,000 rupees for one certification. So charges are also nominal. So we all must take advantage of that. So this is the slide which I have already shown in this presentation. There are a number of ways by which this slide can be shown. So this can be presented in this way. And the presentations can be done one by one, which I just shown. So just you can shift the attention of audience from one point to the other point by using animations. The same slide can be shown like this also. No boxes, simply points we have written. Simple slide, easy to understand. Another way, you can shift the attention of audience by dimming the previous line which you have already presented. And once you go to the next line, just shift the attention of the audience. How can we do this? Let me show you. I have set the animation for the wipe. See, there is a wipe and direction from the left to right. And I am choosing all these animations. Left click on this, effect options. There's an option called after animation, and defaultly it remains on don't dim. So this I am going to choose it, this color, and say OK. And now if I present, it becomes like this. Let's go back to the next. Just have a look how the slide transition happened. We'll talk about this later on. You can show the same slide into the 3 columns. Point number 1, point 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is the another slide which shows the timeline. Can it be presented in a better way? Yes. The same slide. Now it is much relief to the eyes, much easy to understand. There are a number of timelines which I have shown in my previous presentations. This was the slide which was used in the dosimetry, and the different timelines were shown. This was the another timeline shown. There are a number of ways by which we can show our slides, and they are easy to understand. This was another just bullets. I have shown it in a different way. I agree that this is the too much of color which could have been avoided. These were the bullet points shown in that presentation. I'm not talking about the topic, I'm just talking about the design and the way it was presented. So just have a look. It is clearly everyone can understand what is written on the slide. Let's go back to the presentation. And this was the slide which was again used during the dosimetry presentations. And I'm just trying to say one thing. When we are going to present this hierarchies, instead of going vertical, we can go it horizontal, and we can present it one by one. So it is clear to view, clear to see. There are too much of colors which you can avoid easily. Now there are two cool features about the PowerPoint. There is a facility of zoom and the morph transition. Let's have a look how the zoom acts. This facility I used in my presentation of quality accreditations. I show the roadmap of my presentation where I showed the 4 parts of my presentation, that the first part is going to be this, second part this, third part this, and it used to go back to this slide again to remind the audience that I have almost finished half of the presentation and 3/4 of the presentation are going to finish the last part of the presentation. So this reminds the audience, this keeps engaging the audience. Suppose this slide I'm going to show, it directly take it to that slide, just present it. That whenever we are trying to show images, it should be on the larger size, not the smaller one. See, this complete image is on the full screen, and I have rated a Joint Commission International JCI here, and all the text are coming on this image itself. Again, see this timeline I have shown, various dates, and these all the things, and then use of these icons are there on this slide. So they are easy to understand to the audience. See this. There are too much of things are there on this slide, but they're easy to navigate. This is the morph transition, which will just have look on this. Like this was presented. And once this section is done, it goes back to this slide, and then we can remind that I have this is the third part of the presentation I'm going to show, and then we can show like this. Let's go back to the presentation. Now coming to the morph transition. Few slides back we did this one, and from this point the slide changes to this. This happened just because of this morph transition. Now for the PowerPoint presentations, we should do always a thorough research about our topic, gather all the informations to be presented in various slides, and then start deleting the unnecessary and the duplicate things. Once this is done, again delete as much as possible, because slides are there just to help and remember what's to be told to the audience. They help audience to recall the matter and understand the topic. Also, they help to navigate the audience eye. Where do you want to keep your audience to look? That they help. And of course, they allow you to showcase the images, facts, statements, etc. Once this is done, then it comes to design or decoration. And after the design, then we should use the animation to take the eyes of the audience from one point to the another point. Few shortcuts which can be used while presenting any webinar or the presentation, like Control P. It is for use of pen. I am able to use this pen to underline something or to write something like PowerPoint. If I wanted to write like that we can do. And simply if we don't want, press key escape. It will come back again to the cursor. There is another command, Control L, that is for the laser pointer. I'm going to press Control L. See, we can point it in the live presentation. There is another command, Control press scroll button. On the mouse there is a scroll, and if you wanted to zoom certain area of presentation and you wanted to zoom this one, just press Control and then move the scroll button, it zooms. And to get rid of all these effects, just hit escape key. So the next command is escape button to exit all existing tools and back to the normal cursor. Next is use of increased mouse pointer, which allows audience to see where I'm going to point. Normally, by default, the size is not this much. So please feel free to write us at support@nuclearmedicinesolutions.in. Happy presenting. Thank you very much.